So, the Project 005. We know a lot of people in the pickleball world really talk down on this paddle, but I'm here to tell you, they were wrong. All right, in this paddle review, we are going to be talking about the Project 005 Epic. That is the one that I used and tested. I did use the Invicta as well, but they are very, very similar, just depending on the kind of paddle that you want. I am currently playing with the SLK Halo, just to let you know where I'm coming from. And Caden, you are currently playing with the Epic Power Air, so your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I personally loved this paddle when it came to resets and control. One thing I frustrate myself with a ton is just the thinness of this paddle. So putting this paddle in my hand, it gave me some better feel, just a little bit softer hands, and actually at the end of the day, I would say that this is a pretty picture perfect paddle in terms of the combination of the Power Air and the 003.
Here's where all the flack comes in, because we have the amazing Project 003, and then we had the Selkirk release of the Power Air. Now, here's where I think everyone went wrong on the paddle reviews, and this is actually kind of what I was expecting as well. So if we had the 003, which is 100% control and touch, and then we have the Power Air, which is 100% power and air, really light. When the Project 005 came out, I think players were just thinking this would be right in the middle. But if the 003 was a 0 and then the Power Air was a 10, I would actually put this around 7. To me, it's a lot closer to the Power Air because it doesn't have nearly enough forgiveness as the Project 003, but it is somewhere in that middle for me, around a 6 or a 7. So it is an upgrade for my style of play. And I told you guys that I like my resets, I like the control. So what I would say is that if you currently have tried the Power Air and you really like it, but you do want a little bit of forgiveness, I think it has a slightly bigger sweet spot. I think the Project 005 is a great option. One of the things that you are gonna lose a little bit compared to the Power Air, the hand speed will be a little bit slower, so that swing weight, and then also probably slightly less spin than the Power Air. But those are my thoughts. Anything to add there, Caden?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you are spot on in terms of the scales of 1 to 10. Personally, I am so dialed with this paddle because I've been using it over the last 6-7 months that this just feels right. When I did put the 005 in my hand, I felt my hands were slower. I felt, and that is, I did add lead tape in the same exact spots that I normally would, but I also just felt like I was losing a lot of power. All right, now, like I said, that 7 that Jordan gave you is pretty accurate, but because this is at a 10, this is what I'm used to. And in terms of switching to the 005, the only reason why I would really consider switching to the 005 is if it were maybe a little bit colder and the ball were a little bit harder to reset, where this really struggles with a harder ball. This, I feel like, would really thrive in terms of gaining a little bit more control while still having that power.
A big thing I do want to mention here, and Caden and I just found this out, but if you put these side by side, the Project 005 is a little bit longer and it kind of tapers off a little bit higher. So what that does, it actually is, I would say a 1/4 of an inch or something longer grip.
Absolutely.
So for the two-handers that, you know, if you're using two hands, I think this is a really good option. And I was actually kind of wondering why it felt a little bit better, and I think that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, and actually the exact opposite for me. I really don't use a two-hander much. I've been trying to use it a little bit more, but that being said, every time I touch this paddle, like I said, I know what I'm used to feeling. This paddle has just felt a little bit longer, and actually before this review, it was something I pointed out immediately to Jordan. He was like, oh, I think you're right. And so In terms of the grip, a fourth of an inch really doesn't feel like much, but when you're used to the typical Power Air, this 005 will definitely feel a little bit longer in the hand.
Last thing that I do want to mention is the price. Obviously, we know the new Selkirk Labs project paddles are at that 300 or plus mark. For $222, and if you use our discount code below in the description, you can get Selkirk gift card. But for $222, I don't think it's a bad price when you're comparing it to other project paddles, but obviously if you're trying to get the best bang for your buck, I would probably recommend some other paddles that we've reviewed on this channel, and or something like the Halo.
Last but not least, preference. For me, I think I am planning to stick with my Power Air. I just feel a little bit too close with it, and I've really kind of adjusted to it and styled my game around it, and it's really kind of a part of me now. And so I think switching to the 005 right now would be a little unrealistic for me. Like I said, during the winter time when the ball starts to harden up a little bit, I may give that 005 one more look and see how it works. But that also being said, right now, the Power Air is my baby.
All right, so my closing thoughts here is the Project 005 is a great paddle, and if you are coming from the Power Air, I think that it is a good option if you're looking for a little bit more control and touch, and if you actually like the feel of the Power Air. Again, when it comes to other paddles and things like that, if you're looking for more of a carbon paddle type kind of feel, I would recommend the Halo and many other paddles, many other brands like that. But again, all in all, I think that this is a great paddle. Last thing I do want to say is compared to the 003, which a lot of people thought that it was going to be right in between the Power Air and 003. It's definitely gonna be a lot less forgiving than the 003. Obviously, the 003's thickness as when it comes to millimeters is a lot thicker. So there you have it there. And lastly, Caden, who do you recommend the 005 to, if you were to recommend that?
Yeah, I would say personally the intermediate level to the more advanced level. The biggest thing for me is that there's still a lot of power and juice in this paddle. So if you feel like you lack in the control aspect or having a hard time resetting and dropping the ball, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for that, just because it feels very similar to the Power Air. Now, obviously for me, coming from the Power Air, I did feel like I gained a little bit in control, but that is also coming from the thinnest paddle that Selkirk makes.
Yeah, so my recommendation again is if you are coming from a paddle like the Vanguard Power Air from Selkirk, and you're looking for a little bit more control and touch, I think this is a good in-between. Again, if you're looking for a control paddle and you really, really want to control the ball really well and you need something really soft, this is probably not the paddle for you. But if you're looking for something more with power, pretty good spin and pretty good sweet spot, but you are also wanting power and control together, I think the 005 is worth a try. So again, thank you so much. This is our honest review. I've been hitting with this for about 4 weeks now. Kaden, you've hit with it for a week or two.
Yeah.
These are our honest thoughts. Again, thanks so much for watching this review. We plan to give you and release a whole bunch more. Check out the description below for our discount code. We would appreciate it if you do end up wanting one of these to purchase it. With our code there, you'll get a little you'll get a little gift card, and it also helps support our channel. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next review.